So this video is for the artist novice or for just art beginners. So this video is all to do with beginning, starting from scratch and what to do. So if you're the type of person who is doodling in the pages in your maths class, or you just like to sit down and draw in your free time, this is definitely the video for you. So it's just going to start off with a couple items that you should probably have in your collection. Now, I have a pretty extensive art collection, but you don't need it. You don't need it. I'm working on a comic at the moment, and I've gone out and spent a decent chunk of some savings from when I was working a full-time job. So you don't need it. I'm just going to run you through less than $20 worth of items just to get you started in this video. So first off, paper or a jotter or an art book. So you could have like printer paper, which is about $3 at Coles or Woolworths or any shop like that, Kmart, office supply shops. Or you can get like books like this. These are from like news agencies. You probably get them around $10 to $12. You don't need it. If you have just a textbook, not textbook, just a book that you would use in an English class, that would be fine. But you know, this is mine. I like these. It's got a good GSM. This is 120 and it's 120 pages, give or take. And you know, got some comics and that in here somewhere. But you know, just some paper. Okay, you can use whatever you want. If you got a jotter that you use for other stuff. When I was a kid, I used to use the back of an old envelope to draw. I draw on anything and everything there was, including walls. Which got me in enough trouble as a kid. An eraser. So while you're trying to find the medium that you need, or the medium you want to use, I spent 3 years using nothing but Bic pens. Couldn't use any other pen. They were the black in other pens was too violet. So Bic ones were perfect for what I use. So if you're a pen drawer, 1, if you stuff up, you've stuffed up, and 2, you won't need an eraser. But get yourself an eraser. 3, couple pencils. Now, if you only have the money or if you only want to buy one, my recommendation is get a HB. It's right down the middle. It's not too soft, it's not too hard, it's not too light, it's not too dark. It's just kind of in the middle ground. If you press really hard on the light pencils, my suggestion is get a high B number. But I'll go over that in a second. So if I was to recommend 3 pencils for a beginner, I would start with, there we go, a HB. It's kind of in the neutral ground. And then you kind of got 2H. So H means hard, which means you'll get a really soft, light color. So the higher the number, the lighter the grey lead will be. So if you like really light grey lead, get like an 8H or something like that. But I'd say just start with like a 2H. But then in the other direction, you got B. And I recommend just getting like a 2B. And it's going to work if you need to go darker in that. Because if you just start with 3, you could also just go with 4H and a 4B and a HB. But you know, if you're not really 100% sure, I would just start with a couple. And if you feel you need to go darker, just go buy yourself a couple more. Or if you feel you need to go lighter, just get like a 4H and then a 5H and just work your way from there. But my first 3 that I would recommend is a HB, a 2H, and a 2B. 2B being the dark and H's being the light. So the higher the number, the lighter, and vice versa with the dark. The higher the number, the darker it'll be. But HB is, if you can only get one, I'd recommend a HB. It's kind of right there in that middle ground. It's the kind they'd get you to use in primary school. Pencil sharpener. Now, mine is a cute little pig. I recommend more of a container just so you can store your shavings rather than have it all over your desk. I used to shave straight into a ramekin and then I just decided to buy this. I've had this for a while now, but $2 from an office shop. They're even cheaper at places like Kmart and Coles. But they're not overly dear. Again, just for sharpening your pencils. And lastly, this is my recommendation, depending on what you like to do. Just a nice kind of gel pen. This is the Uniball Eye. Now, I've got like heaps of different gel pens and Bic pens and colours and permanent markers and Sharpies and Artline. I've used all of them. I even have some like waterproof, microns. And they're not bad. They're not bad either, but this is just my all-round one I like. And, you know, you may have to get quite a few to find out which one you like, but this is my preferred. So I'll draw with grey lead, and then I'll go over with this. And then I can erase the lines. And that's usually how I work with my comic. And then obviously I'll colour it in with Copics and a couple other mediums. But that's my recommendation. A permanent marker or a gel marker of sorts. 3 pencils, a HB, and 1 in either direction the other way. A pencil sharpener, an eraser, and some sort of paper. You could probably get all this under $10. My recommendation is just put 20 aside one day if this is something you want to do. It's not a great deal, and in different countries it's probably even cheaper again. But you don't need to spend a lot to do art. Just 1 pencil and a piece of paper will be fine. You could do this in like $1. But you know, just use what you have. Don't let it stop you. Don't feel you need to have an artist collection to do art. It's unnecessary. You can work up to that. But until next time, this is Luke signing off.